Hi folks, it's Rusty with Carolina Case Files. Welcome to our channel. Tonight we've got a story for you from a local fellow. It's a very old story. He's been sitting on it for a long time, and he decided after seeing one of our episodes in particular, Sal, he decided to come forward and tell the story. We think you're going to find it interesting. Thanks for joining us. John Garris.
Yes.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad we could finally get our calendars together, get you in here.
Me also. Thank you.
No, thank you for being here. So, John, you got in touch with us. You have a story that you kind of been sitting on for a very long time.
Yes.
Like something that happened in 1966.
Yep.
How old were you then?
I was 13. It was 3 days later I'd be 14. So I remembered the incident because it was, I remember saying it was only 3 more days and I'll be, be my birthday and I'll be 14. So I remember that.
Well, John, we appreciate you being here. What we want to do is I want to cut you loose to tell your story.
Okay.
And then I may ask you some questions like, our viewers are going to want to know why you didn't tell the story back then. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
1966, there was no social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No support. And so anyway, maybe a few questions there, but take it away.
Well, like I say, it was in January 26, 1966. It was unusually warm for a January.
Okay.
And I don't remember if other people, I know when I was young that I was kind of hot-natured, and my parents had it kind of warm in the house, so I had gone outside. It was about 10 o'clock at night.
John, where are we talking about?
Okay, Castle Hayne, North Carolina. I'm sorry.
Well, okay.
Castle Hayne, North Carolina. And so I had gone outside to cool down, and I went out and sat on the picnic table, and it was a beautiful night, probably like 65 degrees,
Nice.
which was unusual in January. And I happened to look down to the left. All of the, there are about a dozen houses along in a row there, and all of them have land behind them. And there was mostly what was on the land, apparently it had been some kind of farm or something, and so it was just broom straw and few bushes and things. But I happened to look to the left at the house way down on the end, and I see this light kind of hanging up in the air, and what in the world is that? And so I sat there, and I would keep looking. I was looking at the stars, and I would keep looking, and it came to moving, getting closer and closer and closer, but it took it a while. And finally, by the time it got to the lot next door, I could tell what it was. And it was a UFO craft type thing. The biggest thing about it is it was probably 30, 35 feet wide, but it had on one side, the side that was facing me, it had like 7 picture windows. And it came down, it was kind of in a triangle. I mean, I don't know what that is, but anyway. And so I could see inside, and of course it amazed me. I stopped looking on the outside because of what I saw on the inside. I looked inside, and there were 8 entities inside. Mm-hmm. And I looked inside, and you could see the computers. And back then, the computer, and I don't know if they still do it now, but the computers, they had the raised platform. They put the wires underneath. And I could see that, and I recognized it because that's what our computer room was like at work. But what I saw was a table kind of at a slant, and it was like one that you would have in the school, like the metal ones,
okay,
with Formica top.
Yeah.
Was sitting there. And the thing that really shocked me is there was a blonde-headed woman sitting on the left and a man sitting on the right. And they looked like computer, like laptops or whatever sitting there. And in the background, you could see the computer cases. They went across about 6 feet, and they went across about 10 feet, and then came forward about 6 feet, and then there was like 12, 13 feet to the end, and it was kind of at the back. But there was this woman and this man, and then there was another man behind them monitoring. He had a clipboard, and there was one from standing there with a clipboard monitoring these this way, whatever they were looking at, and then another one behind. And the strangest thing is I looked and I recognized they all had Air Force uniforms on. And so that was a shock. But there were 3 more entities. There were 2 officers standing over here on this side. And there was an entity in between them that was about a head or a little more than a head taller than them. And it had on a cloak. And studying the stuff later on, it appeared, from what I remember looking back, it actually looked to me like it was a reptilian. And so it floated. It was about 12 feet off the ground, and it just floated. It took it probably 3 minutes to go across our lot, which was about 110 feet wide.
So it's going slow.
So it's going, just made no noise. It just floats real easy. So, and I didn't really look too much on the outside because I was just flabbergasted at what was on the inside. And as it got to the edge of our lot and started across the other lot, there was a house there, but there were fields back behind that, and it actually turned and started at a diagonal, which I remember looking and say, well, that's headed towards the airport. Not that it went there, but it was headed that way. So I jumped off the table.
Wilmington Airport.
Yeah, Wilmington
Gotcha.
Airport.
Right.
I jumped off the table and I ran inside because I had a small telescope and I was going to try to see it further on, but when I got back, it was already gone. But it just, I was just flabbergasted that even to see a UFO, but for it to be one of ours, that really kind of shook me up. And I went in and told my parents and my brother. And I told a few people at school, but of course, they didn't believe me back then. And since then, what few people I have told, they, I want to know what you're smoking and that kind of stuff. So
You had an incident with some very close people to you that you tried to tell the story to. As I understand.
And whenever I got married, my wife, she believed me, and my son believed me, and my brother, my older brother, and but most people, and I can understand most people. Yeah, you make that up. So
Okay, wow. So let me ask you. So you said that there was a taller entity. You described it as an entity in the craft.
yeah,
Looked like it was cloaked in a cloak.
yeah.
Looked reptilian.
Yeah, I could see just the front part of his face, and I didn't know what to think at the time until later on I saw the descriptions of the reptilians.
In other stories, you're saying?
Yeah, in other stories. And I said, well, that's kind of what that looked like. Now, I can't be positive that's what it was, but that's what it kind of...
Okay, so I asked that question because my other question is, the rest of the entities in there, did they look like our Air Force servicemen and women?
Yes.
The blonde, she looked like a service person, a servicewoman? Really?
I didn't see her face, and the guy that was next to her, I didn't see his face, but I did see the face of everybody else. Some of the guys standing to the side, and some were kind of facing me. But
and how close was this to you?
Where I was sitting to where it was, I'm guessing was 90 feet. And like I say, probably 12 feet up in the air.
And big glass
It was a big glass thing. The windows, they went across and then they went down. And then, so it really looked like something that the government would build as an observation thing because of the windows. And what surprised me is they didn't seem to notice me. I don't know why.
That was going to be another question.
Yeah, they didn't seem to notice me. Nobody, acted. They just stared out, and the guys that were with the clipboards, they writing stuff down and all of that. And but it did kind of amaze me that they didn't seem to see me for some reason. I don't know why.
Wow. And no noise.
No noise whatsoever.
How old are you now?
74.
You've sat on this story a long time.
Long time, because people don't want to believe, anything like that is possible. And
What was it like, 1966? What was it like back then? What might you have thought might have happened to you if you got louder with the story?
well, I had seen since then stories of how the government tries to cover up UFOs and all kinds of things just in general. So actually, I never told a whole lot of people because I was worried about something happening to my son and my
Really?
wife.
Right.
Because lots of things happened to these people that would speak up, and I didn't want anything happen to them. So, I didn't say a whole lot to
You
most
kept your mouth
anybody.
shut, yeah. John, what made you finally come forward and reach out to us?
Well, probably a couple of years ago, I guess you know who Stephen Greer is. I actually tried to contact him, and he got out of whatever he was in, and it seemed like that he was supposed to get a job working for the government. I guess they're trying to shut him up or something or other, but anyway, he's still very vocal about. But, I tried to find out how to get up with him, and I actually got a number at one time, but there was nobody there. And I had tried to think, well, who else? Because I'd never seen a story like this, and so I wanted to tell the story. And actually, when I saw y'all online,
Carolina Case File.
the Carolina Case File, the one where the creature jumped in the back of the guy's truck was
Right.
the first one I saw.
Okay.
And I said, I need to contact these people,
Okay.
and
So
let them know. And
that was 11 months ago.
yeah,
Okay, because with that launched I don't know when you saw it, but that episode came out the first couple of weeks of September.
yeah, I think I saw it
2025.
probably January or
Okay,
somewhere along
so fairly
there.
recently you saw
Yeah,
it.
fairly recently. But so I thought, and I said, well, I'll contact them, see if they want to.
But it wasn't quite the kind of story that you had.
No, but whenever the gentleman with the other UFO incident,
Sal
Sal
from New York?
yeah, from New York.
Well,
Whenever
from
I
North
saw
Carolina to
that,
New York and back to North Carolina. Yeah.
back and forth. Whenever I saw that, I said I definitely need to call. So that's what really got me to try to get on your what you had on the internet, and because I said, well, this will probably be my last chance to tell somebody,
Right.
But I really wanted everybody to know, and hopefully, if enough people look at it, people that have something similar or other things that just won't tell it, maybe they'll get brave and they'll tell things that have happened to them.
That's right. Yeah, there's thousands of stories out there.
Oh yeah,
Thousands.
got to be.
Yeah, I mean, just like you saw something that lended credibility to your story, so you felt like coming forward.
Well, I know a lot of people are going to see this and say, oh yeah, this guy's just made this thing up, but I'm sorry, it's entirely true. It is entirely true. And if they don't want to believe, well, that's up to them. I can't help it, but it is true.
John, if you were making stories up so that we could put you on camera, that wouldn't be your only story. You'd have made up
Oh yeah,
more and more stories over the years that got wilder, and you know what I mean?
yeah, you're right.
I try to think about things from just a logical.
Yeah.
If you were seeking fame and glory, then you'd have a more recent story that'd probably be more in tune with things that other people are seeing right now.
Right.
The story you're telling is a very old story and very different from anything we've heard.
Is different from anything I had ever seen, because I watch all of the UFO
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff, and I've never seen anything else
Yeah.
like that. So.
Yeah. But you know what? Chances are somebody will hear your story and it'll corroborate their story. By the way, you're a very credible person. You don't have to say the name of the company, but you work for a company locally, for a very big national company for
Yes, I
a very
worked
long time.
I worked for General Electric for 36 years.
Yeah.
And it was a good company to work for.
Right. You ever try to tell anybody there that story?
Seems like I tried to tell one person, and they, yeah, that's nice. What are you going to say?
Right. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. We
Well,
really
thank
do.
you.
Thank you for coming forward with that story.
Well, thank you for letting me tell my story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And hopefully somebody else may have seen something similar or
Well-
has another piece of that puzzle, you know.
Yeah, I actually told my neighbor, she was a year younger than me. I told her and her husband, and because she was living, right there at the same time.
Okay.
And she actually said that her husband's father was worked on a military base somewhere out Midwest, and there were a lot of strange things going on there, and so they believed me.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I said, well, good, thank you.
Thank you for coming, John. Thanks
Thank
for telling
you.
us your story. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that concludes our episode tonight. So John is now 74 years old, and he related a story that happened in 1966. He didn't want to talk about it. He kind of sat on it for a very long time. Well, what was his reference? Well, you had things were different back then. You had Project Blue Book. You had Roswell, 1947, where our government came out and said this, and the next day changed it to that. And that's where the whole suspicion came from the agencies that are supposed to be protecting us and so forth and so on. Things were just different back then. And our government now is doing a lot to disclose a lot to us that they've sat on for a very long time. What did Sal see? We don't know. But if you have a story, a similar story, or a different story, give us a shout. Get in touch with us at carolinacasefiles.com or talesunsettling@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe and like and hit that bell so you can be notified on the next episode of Carolina Case Files.
Is it flesh? Is it shadow? Is it curse? Is it crown? If I pull this trigger, will it just come back around? Cut scars on my knuckles, scar 17 in my head. If it falls, if it rises, will anyone understand? Carolina Case Files burned in my brain. Every mile marker spells out your name.